Highway 35 North, Rockport, Texas. Join us, Mr. Gary Lee, for some prayer.
Father, as always, we're thankful for the blessings of this new day. And each morning as we wake up and we're thankful to be in this county and this great state and country, but around the world, there's so many troubled events going on. And sometimes, Lord, we just are overwhelmed by concerns for so many people, not just the problems that we deal with in our county, but problems that affect us because of what happens in the world. And Lord, we find peace in reading your word that says you will never forsake us or leave us, and that you'll get us through those troubled times. And that if we keep our eyes focused on you, that you'll protect us and keep us safe. And so, Lord, that's my prayer today. I look at the agenda, I see all the items that these commissioners have to make decisions on, and we know that they all affect this county and the citizens and our taxes. And Lord, we just pray you give them the wisdom to analyze each decision and make the best decision for our citizens. And we trust you, Lord. We trust you in the world situation. We trust you locally, and we trust you with our lives. In your name we pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Your mic's off.
Thank you.
Your mic is off.
What? Do we have any citizens to be heard?
No.
No presentation.
I need to do roll call though.
Do the roll call.
Yes.
Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Castellane.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
And Judge Garza is absent.
All right, we're going to pull item number 9. And we have the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, I'd like to acknowledge some donations. We have donation of craft soda cups and server tapper from Bay Area Brewing Company for the kayaks at Sunset. Donation of Tacticam for a Feather Snap Scout Smart Bird Feeder and 1-year unlimited subscription valued at $239.98 from Melissa Zeischang. Yeah, and that she also donated the previous one. Also a donation to Aransas Pathways from Texas First Rentals for the use of solar light tower, including delivery and setup for kayaks at Sunset, also by Melissa
Zeischang.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Castellane.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
All right, item number 10.
I move to approve resolution R 25-2025, a resolution designating County Judge Ray Garza as the authorized official for Aransas County's fiscal year 2026 Homeland Security Operation Lone Star Grant, grant number 504-8202, effective September 1, 2025.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Vote.
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
I just have a quick question. It says that Aransas County agrees to provide applicable matching funds. What's our projected amount?
It's not a match. There is no match on this grant. It's all by reimbursement. 100% of it.
Does that need to be in the resolution or?
Yes, ma'am, it is required. It's the same as the Stone Garden grant as well. It's the language that is provided by Homeland Security.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Item number 11.
I move to approve resolution R-26-2025, a resolution of the Commissioners Court to accept Help America Vote Act grant funds, authorizing the county judge and or the county elections administrator to execute necessary documents, designating a single point of contact, providing for severability, and certifying compliance with the Open Meetings Act.
I'll second that.
So I know we touched upon this a little bit during the budget workshop. I'll answer any questions if you have it.
So Kevin, overall, how's that going to change how the voters come in and vote? I mean, are we
It's
going
not going to change any of that process
no,
for the
that
voters,
process.
no.
What processes is it changing?
It's going to help some back-end processes. It's going to help us get results out faster.
I'm sorry, say again.
It's going to help back-end processes that will help us get results out faster. In the event that we do have to actually recount ballots like we did this last primary last year. Our result for that election that were out around almost 11 o'clock that night.
And we're getting 42,500,
That is
right?
correct.
You have the funds to match it with the 8,500.
I do,
Okay.
yes.
That's good, thank you.
The only other thing we need to potentially discuss is who y'all would like to appoint as the single point of contact. That's required from the state for this. I have spoken with Tana in the auditor's office about that, and she did suggest that we choose select myself for that. And that is more or less who the Secretary of State is suggesting for this, but y'all have your choice on that.
Should I amend my motion then to appoint Kevin Stroud as the
Probably the position.
position, the elections administrator
I'll second that.
as the point of contact?
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Item 12.
I move to approve authorizing county judge to sign various lease agreements for the Live Oak Plaza Shopping Center for the relocation of various elected and appointed county offices.
I'll second that.
We have, Eric has reached out to the owner and he has agreed to redo the lease for a year, another year. The increase for total of all of the offices is a $690 a month. It was a very minimal increase. There is a termination for convenience if for some reason we can move into the courthouse prior to a year, but we do have a year lease on these.
Is anybody relocating? Is because it's into the.
These are just the offices that we're already
That's
using. There's nothing relocating. We have not heard. He has also contacted the owner of the Harbor Plaza and we have not, he is, as of time for the agenda, we had not gotten anything from him.
But we may terminate this lease because I sure hope we're not a year out of the courthouse, correct?
I hope so, but
30-day notice?
yes. I mean, we do have that ability, so. Yeah.
And this is for IT, county attorney, and the auditor treasurer's suite.
And the county attorney and the veterans office.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Ready?
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Item 13.
I make a motion to approve authorizing county judge to sign the notice to proceed with Garza, Bombarder and Associates for architectural services for the aquarium.
I'll second that. And I'll just note the completion date on here is May 31st, 2027.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline. Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
14.
I move to approve Fourth Amendment to the purchase and sale agreement by and between Rockport Property Entity LLC and EVC-CC Land Holdings LLC and County of Aransas, Texas, the buyer for property located at 1751 FM 1781 and 1751-R3 FM 1781 Rockport, Texas. It is all part of a Go Mesa Grant Agreement, CP project of Special Merit GLO contract number 24-099-005-E379. And the purpose of this contract is to set forth the terms and conditions of this grant of state Go Mesa funds from the GLO to grantee to implement the CMP project of special merit entitled Copano Cove Ranch Acquisition, the project.
I'll second that.
Good morning.
Morning.
This Fourth Amendment or fourth extension on purchase agreement will allow us to have the final step of this project. Where we are with the Go Mesa project of special merit, the survey has been completed, the appraisal has been completed. Those have been submitted to the General Land Office for review. Before we can submit the request to advance the funds for the property acquisition, those do have to be approved. And so this extension will give us that amount of time that's needed for the GLO to finish with their review and for us to submit the request for that advance of funds for the property acquisition.
Commissioners, I would just say that there are 13 pages with this agenda item, and they have not been submitted to the county attorney's office. If this is a GLO grant, our policies that the Commissioners Court passes every December requires all grant funded contracts to go to the county attorney's office first, as does our procurement policy. I wouldn't have any objection to extending the contract till July 31st. It's just the other attached documents that appear to be there for Judge Garza's signature. I haven't reviewed them, and that's where your attorney's supposed to launch any objections to any of the property purchase.
Has anything changed substantially? Is it anyone?
The only other amendments I could think that these would pertain to would be the secondary survey completed for the project did find establish a discrepancy in the acreage of the property. Previously, the shoreline was determined with an approximate boundary in order to try to differentiate between the GLO submerged tract, the state-owned submerged tract, and the upland property. This more specific survey change the specific acreage. And so in order to try to capture that acreage, in order to prevent the property sellers from having any ties to the property going forward, I believe that we will be using a quitclaim deed in order to just make sure that everything is legally sound. And so I don't think there's anything additional to the purchase agreement extension from that.
Could we have Miss? I'm sorry.
A county cannot use a quitclaim deed. I'm not talking about the amendment here, although this was also not presented to the county attorney's office. I'm talking about the paperwork for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. That none of that has been sent to the county attorney's office for a review.
Are we under a deadline?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what's the deadline?
Could we
the
have
end
Ms.
of June.
Evans come up, maybe answer some questions, or
Janae is probably going to be able to speak much more accurately about property law.
It's all accurate. Good morning, Commissioners. It's my understanding that the agenda item is specifically the extension, the Fourth Amendment. The other items that I think that are being referred to might be presented later, but as of today, I think it's just the extension.
I apologize for muddying the waters.
Yeah. Can I amend that motion just to include that part, right? Just, you said just the extension.
Well, I think that's what we're
That's
just
what that's what
approving
we're
the
voting
Fourth
on, right?
Amendment.
We're just,
My mistake. I went in trying to understand what additional paperwork hadn't been reviewed. That's what I thought, and I was wrong. So
Yeah.
I apologize for making the motion muddying it.
and the motion was to approve the Fourth Amendment of the purchase and sale agreement.
Well, we could do that. And then when it moves down the line and we have the contract for approval,
Make
we can
sure-
be sure that it has a review. Okay.
The attorneys go with that?
And
I'll
I'll second
second
to
it.
the appointment. Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Agenda number 15.
I move to approve the addendum to data processing services agreement with Indigent Healthcare Solutions and authorize the county judge to execute the addendum.
I'll second that.
Morning.
Morning.
This is just need a signature on it. We had already put it in the budget for this year and we were ready to get started using the scanning program.
And this is a monthly charge to begin using what they're calling image workstations.
Right, in the database. And this program, that may look like a lot to add for just for scanning and archiving, but this program is very inexpensive and they have been for years, so.
Right.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Item 16.
I move to approve Aransas County Pathways selecting a firm from the pool of approved engineering firms to perform engineering services for future capital and or grant projects for the Linda S. Castro Nature Sanctuary and the Airport Road Kayak Site as approved by the Aransas County Commissioners Court.
Second.
And this is just approving the pool. This isn't approving any specific
Yeah.
work or contract at this point in time.
Yeah.
Renee, are you here? Did you want to say anything about this or you're good?
Want to select that we're ready to select from the engineering pool.
And those will come up separately.
Correct.
So is this a different pool than the one we've already set up for the whole county, or
No,
we're selecting from?
yeah, we're just saying Pathways can use that pool.
Yeah. Okay.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Item 17.
I move to approve authorizing the county judge to sign the service agreement between Persona Digital Marketing and Aransas Pathways.
I'll second that.
Morning.
Morning.
This is Melissa Z. Chang, Aransas Pathways Coordinator.
So, yeah, so, Persona Digital Marketing will be monitoring the website, for issues and things like that.
For website maintenance, changes and updates and training of the pathway staff as well as a couple of people that are on the committee.
Yeah, and this is all come out of the Pathways budget.
And we will own this. In the past, the Pathways website was owned by the person who designed it.
We did not have the copyright as
Right.
a this movement, so that we'll own the website. We now own Pelican Pete, who's the mascot for Pathways. So any work moving forward will be owned by the county.
Yeah.
And the website looks great and there's a lot of good information. It flows well and everything. So
They did a great job.
they did a great job. Yeah.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
We're 18.
I move to approve a request from Community Development to apply for a T-Mobile grant to fund a furniture purchase for the Aransas County Community Center building.
I'll second that.
Well, didn't you say this was a grant that actually was intended Pathways, but they decided not to use it?
Correct,
Right.
right. They're going to do a much larger grant or going to go out for a much larger grant. So this will give us an opportunity. There's not many grants out there that will fund furniture. So I would like to go ahead and try to apply for a grant to get furniture for the community building since we do not have that.
And this is one of the things that they'll approve. I appreciate your highlighting that.
Right.
Yep.
And is Tish going to be involved in this process? To some, you know about the grant and. Okay.
You're welcome to review the grant once I write it.
And the date of the award is September 1st of this year?
Yep, they'll let us know. It's actually due next Monday. I have to have the application in, and then they'll notify us in sometime late August. And then we would get the funds in September. So once we get notification that we've been awarded, I already have invoices and quotes and stuff
Okay.
because I need that for the application. So
Sounds good.
How much is this for?
it's up to $50,000. I'll definitely request $50,000.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Motion passes. Is the next bill here to item 19?
I move to approve authorizing the county judge to sign the notice of award between Aransas County and Anchor QEA for the Shell Ridge Road Flood Protection Phase 2 project. Gulf of Mexico Energy Security Act funding is being utilized for the re-engineering design and the United States Army Corps of Engineer permit extension request. Aransas County's Federal Emergency Management Agency / Texas Department of Emergency Management Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, subaward grant agreement number DR-4332-016 provides federal funding for grant management and construction of the project.
I'll second that.
And this is
What is-
one that's been
what
a
is
long
QEA?
time coming.
Judge Pro Tem and Commissioners, if I may, Texas Department of Emergency Management, it should state Texas Division of Emergency Management.
Thank you.
Thank you for the correction.
What is QVA?
That's the name of the
This
company.
is
Oh,
Anchor's-
That's what I thought. I just,
maybe it's Quality Engineering Associates. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's what,
thank you.
what Charlie Belair used to be. They bought out his company.
Okay.
And
Any other questions?
Yeah, so Anchor QEA, when we did the pool, they were the ones that were scored the highest. So they've gone through the process. We've already approved them. So we want to do the notice of award. And then they've done the contract now. So that'll be the next agenda item.
and a lot of the people who worked on the first engineering that I think was with Mott McDonald now work for Anchor, so that there will be that carryover of prior knowledge and they're very familiar with the project.
Good.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo. Aye. Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Motion passes. 20.
I move to approve authorizing county judge to sign a contract between Aransas County and Anchor QEA for the Shell Ridge Road Flood Protection Phase 2 project. Gulf of Mexico Energy Security Act funding will be utilized for the re-engineering design and the United States Army Corps of Engineering permit extension request. Aransas County's Federal Management Agency / Texas Division of Emergency Management - Hazard Mitigation Grant Program subaward grant agreement number DR-4332-016 provides federal funding for grant management and construction of this project.
Second that.
So Anchor QEA went ahead and did their scope and their contract. And so now we're ready to go ahead and approve them and have Judge Garza or Commissioner.
Contract's been reviewed by the county attorney's office.
Yes.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo. Aye. Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 21.
I move to approve the annual county clerk archive plan as required by local government code 118.011F.
Second.
Just a few little highlights of this plan. On 4/15 of 25, I completed what's called Records Management Officer Training through TSLAC, which is Texas State Library and Archives Commission. This is only for the records for the county clerk, not the county as a whole. That's attachments 1 and 2. I've also attached a copy of the county clerk's manual. This list is just to show the volume of different filings that this office handles. It's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different types of filings every single day. And that's attachments 3 and 4. I also did a quick year's look at how many filings, and that's attachment number 4. 919 court cases, and that's just to file the case. Anytime there's a motion or an order, it is so much work. We also handle all the affidavits of indigence through collections, and then again on our end for the misdemeanors. And at this time, we have 508 active bonds that we handle as well. And that's all just for the criminal and court side. And collections, she had 4,996 actions, and that's a one-person department. For the misdemeanors, she is keeping those rates of payments made on time between 50 and 60%, which is amazing. And that program that we use, iPlow, that we pay just $5,620 a year for, really helps us make that happen. There were 2,335 payments made into criminal cases just for misdemeanors alone. And then official public records. There were 7,162 records. There are 5,736 land and deed records, 177 DDAs. Marriage licenses, we had 215 issued. Those are new ones. To issue a marriage license takes between 20 and 30 minutes. These are not quick, hand a piece of paper over the counter. 201 returned and recorded. Every time they get married, they bring it back, and then we have to record them and issue certified copies, and we issue 314 certified copies of marriage licenses. Birth records, 509 certified copies. And death records, 187 certified copies were issued out of my office. This is with 7 people. Our team, my team, stays extremely busy. It is rare for us not to have either someone on the phone or at the counter.
I had a question, Christy. On page 5, you mentioned that electronic records from part 1 and part 2 of the CoFile project have had some corruption or errors that were delaying the upload into the public portal. How did those come about?
CoFile used AI to index our records, which was part of the contract. We knew that was going to happen. The first time they came back, there were some Chinese characters in there, so it would not load into Eagle. Once they got that fixed, they tried to load it again and realized that the subdivisions for all the different subdivisions of the county were not done correctly. So CoFile is working on that. There's something like 780 subdivisions. Some of them are functioning, but these are subdivisions that are mentioned in the legal descriptions, not the name of a subdivision. And so until that gets fixed, we can't get that uploaded. Every 2 weeks, I send out an email to CoFile and Eagle both, because for about 4 months, I heard nothing. And so every 2 weeks, I have an automatic email that goes out to everybody involved in that project to make sure that it does not get forgotten.
Okay.
It is something we are working on. Colin is helping me push that through as well. He's very aware of everything that's going on. As stated last week when presenting my budget, and our revenues for the 350 and 450 funds are down about half of what they were the prior year. This is due to legislative changes that took $1 off of every single filing in my office. Huge, huge hit to us. So I immediately started searching for ways to increase our fees as much as possible. And I did find a way in Vital Statistics to increase birth certificates, certified copies of birth certificates, death certificates, and certified marriage licenses.
Those are all allowed by law according to that.
Those are allowed by law. We found them. It's actually through OCA, not in the statutes. And we were able to find that and confirm that it is legal to do so. My only fear with that, not fear, but concern, is that that money goes into the general funds because of how it's set up. I just want to put it out there that probably in August of next year, I'm going to need a transfer funds to make that last payment to CoFile. Because the way our funds, that 350, 450 funds, are no longer being funded with that $1, we are going to need it to finish paying co-file off. I just want to put that out there, that that's something we are going to have to consider to get co-file finished.
Can we, Jackie, can we do something like a budget line item to put that money in a certain reserve? Or just does it need to go into the general fund?
Are you talking about this August or next August?
Next August.
Next August is
we can
something
look
that we
into
can
it.
budget. We can work on the budget with it.
Yeah.
We would need to work on the budget since it's there.
But that doesn't, I mean, right now, we're just approving the archive. plan.
Yes. This all has to do with archive though, honestly, this management of the records. We had that contract with CoFile 1871 to 1951. And they will be finished by next August. Everything uploaded, everything done. This leads back to our storage until we get into the courthouse and my office meets compliance. It is $5,000 a month. Now, the benefit that I talked about during budget last week is that CoFile has agreed to keep our records indefinitely. We're not going to have to move them. And that they're also going to store the district clerk records that they've been working on at that same amount until the courthouse is ready. Is also one of the benefits with staying with them is that they will bring those records here at no additional cost, and they will shelve them for us at no additional cost.
But you explained all that
Yeah.
last Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
The current amount that we've paid for this project already is $1,770,060.20. All said and done, not including current or future storage costs, this project will come in at just over $1 million under projected costs, which is awesome.
I would like to add something to that. Of the cost that she's done, 1 million of that was ARPA funded.
I remember.
Yeah.
Because we
Thank you.
did that for both her office and the district clerk's office,
Yes,
did
ma'am.
we not? Yeah. Okay.
As
Whenever you said that, we were talking about the district and the county clerk, and they were going to do them both for the same 5,000 or 5,000 apiece?
same
Same
5,000.
5,000.
Yes,
okay.
no additional costs. As you are aware, the county clerk's office as it stands now will not meet compliance when we take ownership unless we come up with a plan. At this point, I've not heard of any plans being completed or even being discussed, or even if it's going to be fixed before we take ownership or not. Just want to say it publicly that I personally am not going to move the records into that office until it does meet compliance. And again, the CoFile 5-year plan, we had that additional mold in 3-1, and that has been paid in full with no expected future costs on that.
Are we ready for roll call?
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dukenyak.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 22.
I move to approve interlocal cooperation agreement between Aransas County and Aransas County Municipal Utility District Number 1 for road paving services. Terms of this agreement are effective from July 1, 2025 until June 30th, 2026, with 4 individual annual renewals with a termination clause of 30 days written notice by either party.
I'll second that.
Good morning, Commissioners.
We need-
This agreement will allow road and bridge staff to perform services for the MUD and also charge appropriately.
But the cost will not exceed 15,000.
No, ma'am.
And that's a realistic figure?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dukenyak.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 23.
I move to approve authorizing the county judge to sign the notice of award and sign all necessary documents to execute the professional engineering contract with Hanson Professional Services, Inc. for the Fulton Street Improvements Project through the Texas Community Development Block Grant, MITMOD Regional Mitigation Programs, Method of Distribution Development, and administered by the General Land Office Grant Contract Number 24-065-128-E986.
I'll second that.
Good morning. This is the we're asking to execute the contract with Hanson on this project. I've got Anna Aldridge from Hanson here in the audience this morning, if there's any questions.
Anna?
I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
Oh, this is, I have Anna Aldridge here from
Okay.
Hanson. If there is any additional questions, but excited to get this project into the engineering phase.
I don't have any questions about the project. I have a very small question, and maybe it's not that important, but on the contract on page 2, where it says, where's the county accepted responses until the appointed date and time, and it shows June 25, 2024 at 2:30 PM CST. I think that should be CDT. And if it should be CDT, then it should be CDT on the other two also. It's a small thing, but just when it comes to legal documents, you just wanna. But I know Fulton will be real excited. Is Laura still here? Oh, there you are.
Absolutely.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Castelline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Motion passes. Item 24.
I move to approve authorizing county judge to sign the notice of award and sign all necessary documents to execute the professional engineering contract with Hanson Professional Services Inc. for the Lamar Drainage Project through the Texas Community Development Block Grant, MITMOD Regional Mitigation Programs, Method of Distribution Development, and administered by the General Land Office. Grant contract number 24-065-128-E986 in the total amount of $520,576.
I'll second that.
This contract is for the drainage improvements out there in Lamar, focusing around West Lake, and South Lake, as well as the Petrie Circle area. And this will also begin the engineering of that project.
And
You
this
said
will,
West Lake, South Lake?
West Lake,
Yeah.
South Lake, in the Petrie Circle area.
and it'll also go down into Fourth Street, correct?
And go down 4th Street to make it to the bay.
Might just make a side note on that. Whenever I came on the court, I came from the mud district whenever I came on the court. And at that time, the drainage out there was terrible. But county has done some marvelous things out there that really has turned that into a.
Absolutely. David Reed's
absolute-
done a lot. You know,
It's an example of what good planning can do.
And just that, to change that notation on page 2. Okay,
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Castelline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo, sorry.
aye.
and Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 25.
Move to approve authorizing the county judge to sign the notice of award and all necessary documents to execute the professional engineering contract between Aransas County and Pape Dawson Engineers for the Aransas County Master Drainage Plan through the Texas Community Development Block Grant, MITMOD Regional Mitigation Programs, Method of Distribution Development, and administered by the General Land Office Grant Contract Number 24-065-128-E986 in the total amount of $1,798,387.
Second.
we're extremely excited about this project. This has been on David Reed, you know, his wish list for
11 years, I
11
think he
years to
said,
get this project
and he
started.
said that 3 years ago, so.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am. You know, I have Jake Powell with Pape Dawson here with me if there's any specific questions, but ultimately we're going to do H&H study. We're going to identify and prioritize projects throughout the county. We're going to, those projects are going to be added to our CIP list. And have some cost estimates, some recommended funding options, and ultimately going to develop a regional stormwater criteria manual that all the members of the Stormwater Technical Committee, you know, would apply to all those members.
I just have a couple of questions if you want to come up, please. When do you anticipate the first meeting for this will be held?
With the
The
first public
public?
meeting or the first meeting just with the technical committee?
Like with the public?
With public, probably sometime this fall, I think.
Okay, and how will you go about notifying them?
So we'll go through whatever the standard process is for the county. So we've got one of our subcontractors that'll help us handling the outreach. And so we'll go through newspaper notices, Facebook posts, whatever's needed to best reach out. The plan is to have 4 public meetings. So those will all happen, and there will be one per precinct. And then that will also cover Fulton, Rockport, ACND, and Aransas Pass, so we can get everybody involved.
Okay, I just remember when there was another project after Harvey planned, they notified people in Fulton by mailing them notices to their home addresses, and in Fulton, everybody has a PO box.
Right.
So I just want,
Okay.
and since it's here to go on record that there needs to be a more effective way, especially to get a hold of people and to notify them. Thank you.
Forward to working with you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Motion passes. Be number 26.
I move to approve change order number 6 for the construction contract for Southwest Aransas County drainage improvements in the county's general land office, GLO, Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery, contract number 20-065-098-C270, LCR Total Transport LLC, requests an increase in the contract time of an additional 14 days.
I'll second that.
Yes, this change order extends the contract time period out to July 14th.
You're about to use all the money in the grant up. It
We're
looks
gonna,
like.
as much as we possibly can. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And we've extended this project
Several.
actually for more days than the original project was scheduled, but I know that we've added more items to it as we could,
Absolutely. Yes,
and
sir.
that's a good thing. And I think this is the last one, isn't it, on that C270?
Last project.
That and then the community building, getting it finished, yes.
The community buildings on that same.
Yes, ma'am.
They were paving roads this weekend, though.
Yes, sir. They're certainly trying to make the original end of the month deadline, but
Oh.
we thought with weather, we've had rain quite often here lately, thank goodness, but yeah, it's kind of delayed a little bit.
And no more money.
No more.
That's just, okay.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 27.
Move to approve authorizing county judge to sign a contract between Aransas County and Marpe by EMA to provide inmate medical services for the county.
Second.
This is a wrap up of the project to replace Dr. Bingham and his services that he provided at the jail. This is the individual that was selected for the process when they were rated. I think brought to y'all before, but then county attorney's office has completed the contract, and that's what's presented y'all today.
And there are actually several providers. There's a main one, and then there are some others.
I
for
think he
back-
has 4 people, yes,
Yeah.
in the total deal, to where she has backup fill in when she's not available or out of town, and she will be gone. I think it's July 14th of this month. I already know, or next month.
Good.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 28.
I move to approve May 25th, May 2025 Treasury Report.
Second.
Morning.
Morning. On the report, the total funds is 30,960,000. I have about 38% in the depository bank and 63% in investment pools. Anybody have any questions on the numbers?
That's good.
I do not.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 29.
I move to approve a step increase of 3 steps for Lisa Balzer Chief Deputy Treasurer 19.1 to 19.4, and 2 steps for Rhea Riley, Deputy Treasurer Payroll Clerk, 15.1 to 15.3.
Second.
Now, I just had a question. I thought sometime in the fairly recent past, we had decided that if you went more than 2 steps, that you had to have like a promotion or something, or a pay grade or something. We had limited
Well, the
that.
policy says you can go up to 3, but we were on the verbal agreement of 1 step, and anything beyond that needs to come to court, as we had one last
Okay.
commissioner's
I
court.
knew that there had been some attention paid to that. Because what was it, about 3 years ago, we had several large, maybe 4 years ago, several large increases across the board.
Well, I think what you were seeing, some of the elected officials or department heads were giving 3-step increases twice a
Right.
year,
Right.
which
I
was
remember
pretty
it.
sizable. And then if any COLA that was awarded.
So I gave you a spreadsheet on my chief deputy treasurer and the payroll person.
Questioning that, I just thought that we had maybe overstepped our process.
They are in the introductory period. They were hired in as a 1. Given 2 steps to the payroll clerk is still under 1,500 under what is in my budget for the year. So if there's any questions on that one, on the chief deputy, given her 3 steps, both of those positions, I would say I have excellent people in there. I got rid of a position recently for the hotel occupancy clerk. These 2 have consumed the duties of that position, which was close to, with benefits, a $50,000 deal or somewhere in that area. They both want to continue doing that. They're enjoying doing it, and they are enjoying not having anything to do when payroll's not going on or otherwise. So they are consuming a position that I am not going to fill at the time. The chief deputy treasurer, I think, needs to be moved up anyway. I did have a look at some of the salary survey, which hasn't come before court yet. And that position is the highest underpaid position that is on that list, to the tune of 52%. So not saying what we're going to do on the salary survey part, but most of what she does is accounting for the $30 million that we have in the bank, and I think it's a very important position. There are people whose second persons make $20,000-$30,000 more than her, so I don't feel like I'm asking too much in this position, and she is assuming new duties. Still staying by the policy. I know it's not the 1 step, but I'm asking for the 3.
And it's within your budget.
On her particular line, no, but overall, I'm 31,000 under.
Well, that's what I mean. It's within your department budget.
Yes.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline, Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 30.
I move to approve the Texas County and District Retirement System renewal for plan year 2026. Winnie?
Good morning.
Second.
Good morning. So I'm not proposing any changes. This is just our annual renewal. If we don't make any changes, y'all don't have to sign anything. So it just processes as is.
But our contribution rate came down, so actually that's a benefit to the county.
Yes, it saves us money.
Yeah, so that's a good thing.
Am I right that the plan that you're recommending is there's a choice if employees want to go with a larger deductible? They don't.
This is
This-
just retirement.
Oh,
This
no.
isn't insurance.
Oh, council.
It's just still the 8-year vesting and.
Yes, this is
The
all
county
just through
gets-
TCDRS.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand you couldn't make the changes. I still think we should look at raising from 8 years up myself, only at a later date.
Do you have any questions?
No, I'm just glad the rate went down.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Castleline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupont.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 31.
Move to approve allowing the Healthy County Coordinator, who's the HR Director, to spend up to the 2,400 of the Healthy County and Fair Funds on incentives and other expenditures incurred for the annual Aransas County Employees Health Fair in anticipation of receiving funds back from the Texas Association of Counties Healthy County Program.
I'll second that.
So I'm just requesting the same amount from last year. I did not even spend up to the 2,400. I was about half of that amount. And then we received back $990 from TAC. And I'm anticipating to receive more this year because I scheduled more trainings. So we should receive more back this year.
Last year's fair was really great.
Thank you. It's going to be on Halloween this year.
Oh, okay. We all wear costumes.
Yes, we could.
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupont.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 32.
I move to approve the budget line items.
I'll second that.
We have none.
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupont.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 33.
Move to approve accounts payable and payroll liabilities.
I'll second that.
Yep. Normal payroll liabilities, as well as accounts payable. I would like to recognize a few. We have G&W Engineers. It's our generators. This is some of our final payments to them on the generators that have been completed. It's $279.93. We have Grant Works for work on the Holiday Beach program under the C-270s of $26,659.50. Operation Lone Star, this is reimbursements for the expenses, the officer that does that grant of $915.68. And Axon is under the SB 22 grant of $60,060. That's for tasers.
And we had talked about those, I think, some months ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Tasers.
If y'all have any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupont.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is report from commissioners, elected officials, department heads. No action to be taken. Anybody got anything?
I'd just like to mention the kayaks at Sunset that Pathways put on last Saturday evening. Melissa Zishang, who is the coordinator for Pathways and was able to get those donations. And then Renee and at least a couple of her crew were out there. Tony, and was there somebody else? Yeah, they were participating in it, and it was a really great event. They started kayaking from a boat launch near Copano Cove. I'm not a kayaker, and they ended up at Howard Murph Park, and there was entertainment. Stevie Lou had barbecue sandwiches, and Bay Area Brewing provided the soft drinks. And Pam Stranahan was there giving a history lesson about Copano Cove and all of that area, and very well attended. I'm not sure how many people, but my first time ever being in Murph Park, it was lovely.
I've got a picture of Renee in that kayak.
I don't know that Renee was, they were busy setting up and doing other things.
We did have a lot of attendance, I think at 40 something, but we had a lot of volunteers help with this, a lot of staff, a lot of the steering committee members, and a lot of volunteers from the community. So it was
Yeah,
a
Parks
good
and
one.
Wildlife were there. Several of the Pathways steering committee members
Yes,
came and their spouses.
it was a great team.
It was a great event.
Good.
While Melissa is up, I'd like to also mention Friday, we had a Eco Summit here. And they had, it was an all-day event. First 2 hours were basically tours of 4 different sites that are environmentally friendly. And then also we had at the summit in the afternoon, had to leave before it was finished, but we had a lot of different groups set up. Pathways was set up over there with the display. And really what's impressive to me were the big thing was when you look at all the experts, professionals we have that live in this county that put so much of their own personal time into helping our local environment here, and it's really impressive. Learned quite a bit even from the tour part itself. We even had a commissioner from Cameron County, David Garza from Cameron County Precinct 3 came in with his staff, or a couple of members of his staff, and also some other people from the valley came in to see what they could learn because of I think Aransas County really is a leader in so many different ways in what we're doing to clean up our environment, but also makes it more beautiful and really represented what can be done. So it's very impressive, and thank you for being there, Melissa. And also one other thing, just it's been out on social media, but TxDOT is starting work on Highway 35 from 3036 here at the intersection just north of the couple of traffic lights north of the courthouse all the way to the Copano Bridge. They'll be reworking the roadway. So there's going to be a lot of traffic work going on, detours, things like that. Some people are thinking it's a better timing, but there's never a good timing to do that kind of work. And summertime is basically your most consistent weather to get these things done. So when it's all said and done, there's going to be some disruption, but the public is going to benefit greatly from that.
Thank you.
That's good. Go ahead.
I wanted to say something. It never ceases to amaze me. I've been on the court going into my 17th year now. It never ceases to amaze me how much stuff the county employees deal with. I mean, I bet you that I think we're the second smallest county in Texas land area and everything. And I would challenge that any county around at our population base, I bet they don't touch a third of the amount of grants and things that we get. And we get that because we have superior employees. We never have anybody that leaves that goes to a lesser job. Somebody hires them away. And, from what the auditors do to what Renee does in her group and the elections and county clerk and district clerk and road and bridge and everything. If you stop and look at the amount of grants that we deal with, if you stop and look at the amount of money that we get with that we don't have to put something in because of the quality of work that we do. I want to congratulate the Aransas County for doing such a marvelous job. I mean, just an absolute marvelous job. Everybody else is talking about, well, they come in and they have a 45-minute, commissioner court meeting. Well, I would lay odds that if we look at Sandpat at any of the counties around here, they don't handle near what this commissioner's court and this county handles with such a small amount of blowback from anybody. I mean, there is nobody on the Texas coast or even in Texas, I think, if you look at the population and the amount of stuff that we handle and get done, that does a better job at taking advantage of every single opportunity to improve the living in Aransas County. I've been kind of down on with the heart attack and the other stuff, but I just had a chance to look around, and I don't have any unpaved streets in my precinct. I have some that we're working on, but I bet there's no other county that can say that a lot of the commissioners don't have roads to do. I mean, we're not a road commissioner, but we still take care of them. We take care of the drainage. I mean, look at, again, I've been on here 17 years, and the drainage whenever I came on this court was still awesome, but it was nothing like this. It was just amazing. I've been intending to say that for a long time. But inside the court, whether we're in the courthouse building or whether we're out under a tent somewhere, Aransas County gets it done. and we get it done as the best that we can, the cheapest we can, have the best airport in the country. You know, we have the best jail. I mean, the jail, you know, the sheriff's office, they take award after award after award. And it's not because they live in Aransas County, it's because they are Aransas County. And that's what we need. I really appreciate y'all.
Commissioner Castleman, about one thing I forgot to mention about the road project. It's only supposed to be a 2-week project according to TxDOT's statement. So it's, people aren't going to be inconvenienced for the
So
whole
this
summer.
time, this time in December, they'll get it done.
Yeah, it says weather permitting. They have that caveat.
Anybody else? All right, reports about items of community interest. I think we probably might have already done
that. Yeah.
I don't believe we have any closed session items, do we? Or
An update, it's not, I don't think it's very long.
okay, but the move to go into closed
Move.
session.
Move to adjourn the open meeting and go into closed session.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Motion carried.
Do we need to read all this?
Oh. And we're gonna take a break before we do that, right? Okay.
We need to vote on that.
Move to reconvene into open session at 10:44.
Second?
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Duknick.
Aye.
I move to adjourn
I'll second
Second.
that.
You good?
at 10:44 to have.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Duknick.
Motion carried.